Hey guys, welcome to Pop 411 Podcast, your weekly podcast for all things pop culture. I'm Ireland.
I'm Carlos. What's up, y'all?
All right. I guess for this little segment edition, we're going to dive down some Casti part 3.
Oh, we're going to Costi. I like it.
Right?
I like it.
We gotta have some spice.
Well, I
in
hope
here.
the last two episodes have been pretty good for people. I mean, there was the Madam episode that we did, which
Right?
was
That
actually pretty
interesting.
good.
I didn't know it was going to take that long to talk about all that, but yeah,
Yeah, and then we did
it was pretty hefty.
the alternate concubine episode.
Yeah, we did the concubine episode. I now identify as a Persian concubine.
Yes, Persian concubine.
That's
which
hysterical.
I'm saying you should just go all out, and we'll just make that
Right.
happen.
Well, I mean,
What are we going to do this time, Ireland? What tea
This
do
time,
we have?
I feel like we've got our Halloween festive tea. Of course, I gotta dress up for this part.
Well,
You're
yeah,
wearing your toe beans.
I am wearing toe beans, and also, Ghostface couldn't make an appearance because he's kind of busy this time of year.
Busy. He's
pretty
busy
busy.
this time of year. He's asking people what their favorite movies are and stuff. Because what's up?
Slay all day.
Slay all day. He's slaying all day.
He slays all day.
So for this episode with the Deutnet. Wow.
Wow.
Went there, right?
Whoa.
Talking about foreign language. and
Dang,
hearing,
where did that come
the
from?
Death Note.
What was that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Klingon?
We got tea, right? It was Klingon.
You just have to get some tea.
God knows, I am a Klingon. Don't drop it. These are the fancy. Look at these little Halloween teacups.
These are cool.
Dude, you a bougie bitch. Oh, wait, these are mine. Bougie. Cheers, motherfucker.
Pinkies up, y'all.
Oh, whoops. Technically, I'm not supposed to do it.
Oh, that's good tea.
The tea you're drinking is a Twinings Earl Grey, and the tea that I'm drinking is a Twinings Peppermint Cream, which has, it's like vanilla.
I wanted to say Twinnings, but I was corrected earlier. Don't offend people and
It's
say Twinnings because it's
Twinings.
not. It's Twinings.
We don't do Lipton here.
Twinings.
It's all Twinings. Import all tea.
Import all tea.
I pay the 2% tea tax. Cheers. Stamp back my ass. So, of course, gotta have tea. I'm worried about putting it back in there and attracting a low-key, but we're doing it. All right. What are we going to dive into the Death Note book and pull out these
Yes.
juicy details?
What's next on your Death Note list?
I feel like I don't need to do anything recent currently.
No,
I
I mean,
feel like
you
we
did.
should-
You did one.
I did. So I feel like we should go back to the days.
Okay, let's go. Let's take it back a little bit. Let's take
pull
it back.
out. Right?
Take it back. Pull it out.
Take it back. Pull it back. I feel like there's some saying of Tootsie Roll coming. Let me see that Tootsie Roll.
Here we go. Here we go. Tootsie Roll.
Dude, I want to talk about a second. Everybody comes out with a strategy.
Mhm.
There's always a strategy when you were doing cosplay a decade ago. You have to make a name for yourself. So it was
Sure.
what are you going to do?
Yeah.
For me, it was doing canon replicas,
Yep.
making replicas, but it was also the fun OG stuff that I would make. I would add lights, LEDs,
Yeah,
LED
you were doing
wire.
originals.
I would do that type of engineering, but I would also do things with a lot of Swarovski crystals. So
Right.
a lot of my stuff was
Bling.
bling.
The bling.
I mean, as you can tell with some of the balls floating around here. That's what she said. But I would do a lot of the intricate stuff,
Mhm.
where you get a lot of the juicy details.
Super juicy.
Since it is Halloween themed, let me show you. I feel like we need to really show this magnitude of the level of detail I went. Hold on. Actually pulling something off the wall, but the level of detail. If you guys can see this is insane.
Yo, that's sick. You
the
blinged that out
level-
yourself, yeah?
Yeah, I blinged this whole thing out, and the cool thing about it was it actually. I haven't opened this in years, but it actually opens.
Oh, cool.
So it's
I'm
a
surprised you don't have anything in it.
I mean, I wanted to, but then they're trapped.
Gotta
and
catch them all.
I don't want to put them in the ball though.
Put them in a ball.
But-
That's cool.
right? So I would make things super intricate.
Right.
Super intricate. But I was known for doing canon and replicas and then doing creative, highly detailed stuff like that, having the LED wire or having the LEDs inside of the wearable waterproof type of armors and stuff.
And it's funny because
So
there's also some people that are known for a specific character,
right,
right?
like, people associate it, like, my Melina,
Right.
like, "You are Melina." It is that sort of thing. Or, like, just when she did,
Well, she did
Lollipop
Deathwing or
Lollipop
Lollipop Chainsaw.
Chainsaw, she was actually working with the company, so a lot of people, like, remember her from doing that. So, like, there's a lot of, like, key things that you're
Mhm.
known for. It was also a way of, like, marketing. Oh, when you were, like, doing things when promoters would look at your stuff, you'd have to have a key thing. This person does Canon replicas. This person's a spokesmodel for this person. So it was like things where it would kind of differentiate you,
Right.
like,
Differentiate, yeah.
yeah, whatever that is, separate you from the crowd.
Mhm.
And I saw some of the most interesting marketing approaches,
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are people that can get really creative about how they market themselves or what they
right?
do.
Right? So when a market is growing rapidly and it's super saturated, there's one person who stuck out the most for just a genius level of marketing. Like, I'm not gonna say it was a good thing to do, but I'm impressed it was pulled off.
Wow.
I'm
It's like
impressed it
one of
was
those things
pulled
where they're
off.
like, touche.
It's
You did
like,
a great job there.
did such a good job acting through the whole
Oh,
thing,
wow.
even in person, like, carrying this whole
Persona. It's a persona.
persona for years. Well, I wouldn't say it was at least 2 years that it actually got a lot of foot traffic to them.
Wow.
So it was impressive. So I call this person the marketing genius because this person was truly a marketing genius. So
They knew how to stand out.
they knew how to stand. I mean, they already kind of stood out,
Right.
but they took it to a whole nother level that when you are so different from the community, you're already standing out, but you take it to a whole nother level, you kind of just set the bar extremely high. So they would come out with same thing, Canon replica costumes, working with companies. Um, Only did I discover late that those costumes were rented or
What?
those costumes were commissioned
So
outsourced.
did they claim that they were the ones that were actually making them?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Brilliant.
Also, they had oh, Loki's talking to us. I know. Come here, buddy. Um, they also had family who was in makeup, like
Okay.
professionally. So taught them how to put all their makeup on. Come here. Gosh, we have a toe bean fiesta over here. Come on. So they taught them how to do all that stuff. But the most amazing marketing thing that I think here he is making his appearance, our stream mascot for the Toe Bean Squad, Loki.
What's up, Loki?
If I'd known he was gonna like wake up, I would have put a like Halloween costume on him.
Oh, I know. He would look so cute.
Anyway, back to this marketing. So they came up with this whole persona when traveling to all these guest appearances and doing all this other stuff like booth appearances, whatever.
So they travel everywhere, right?
They were traveling everywhere. They came up with this whole scenario that, like, one, oh, I forgot my prints. The printer didn't get them in time. I have nothing to sell at my booth.
But I came all the way down here to
But I came here. Support me. So instead of essentially putting out a tip jar, they put out like whatever the cons supplied, and they would take donations that way.
Oh, wow.
People were bringing snacks, food, money, gifts, all kinds of stuff. So then the plot went even thicker where they were like, "Oh, security damaged my costume. I can't wear it."
What?
But it was never really your costume. They just their time for like renting it or borrowing it from whatever, whoever
Expired.
expired.
Oh, wow.
So then, hi Loki. Then it came to that their luggage was stolen.
So they just slowly started
They just
they slowly started
slowly,
building to see what they could get
yeah,
out
slowly
of.
just escalated, and they made
Wow.
so much money, legit, so much money. Um, it was utterly insane. Like the donation pile was just out of this world. Sorry, we've got a plastic muncher. Yeah, they made so much money, but at the same time, they were getting so many views, so many people jumping onto their stuff just to see how things were going to just pan out.
Wow. Wow, that's wild. Look.
Loki, come here.
You gonna,
Loki
you gonna,
sabotaging our
are you
stream
gonna kick him
here.
out?
He needs Loki. Come on, it has no plastic for you. We're not opening cards, buddy. Hold on.
Yeah,
He
no
wants
worries.
a card wrapper. Come on, buddy. Anyway, so don't drop the tea. So yeah, they were.
So they went from, okay, I didn't get my prints, they didn't come in time, to, and then discovered that people would support them.
Yep.
And then just started asking for more stuff.
Yep.
Under the guise that they were, something happened.
Yep.
Something happened to their stuff.
Yep.
Holy shit. Man.
And it only got discovered and it was hushed up really quick is because I took my best friend with me and they were like, hey, well, we'll call the airline and track your stuff for you. So when the airline was called, all the information was given. 2 days later, they basically said, because while we were checking in on this, that nothing was checked in to begin with.
Holy shit. So they came all the way down with nothing, knowing that they were going to get something.
Oh, no, they had a backpack.
Oh, they had a backpack.
They brought a backpack. And then, like, for all the stuff that they got, then they just, like, mailed it or asked the con if the con would mail it for them.
Man, what a racket, yo.
Right?
Jeez.
But, like, it was, like, a crappy way to do it, but it was utterly just, I mean, it was an insane marketing experience.
I mean, that's you take advantage of people's goodwill. Because, I mean,
that's what it did. Because, like, when the luggage was lost, there was, like, people bringing them clothes.
Yeah.
And, like, all these different shirts and food and, like, money. And I'm like...
Yeah, but, I mean, they obviously have to be super charismatic, too, to be able to pull this off.
They were. Utterly, they were. Like, and they were in character the whole time. So you had no idea. And there was, like, there'd be vendors on the floor giving them stuff as well. Like, oh, here, wear this instead, or wear one of this stuff for us, and let's take a photo with you at, like, our booth.
Wow. And they built their following pretty decent. A pretty decent sized following, actually.
Dominantly on that.
Dang.
Isn't that crazy?
But that kind of, it's crazy.
I mean, they don't do it anymore, but it's they don't like do things anymore, but it was still like you had this short time period and this is what you did with it.
On the one hand, it is, they got a lot of stuff out of it.
They did.
And a lot of exposure and a lot of whatever, right? On the other hand, they took advantage of people who are in this community are very good-hearted.
But it's never been, like, nobody's ever found out about it.
Well, until now, right? Dang, man.
I'm like, I wouldn't call it a scam artist because they are good at the things that they do that I've seen, like everyone has seen, like that's great. But like, I would just call them marketing genius because you found a loophole.
I think there's some lack of empathy there, though.
Oh, massively.
Right? You have to not care about people's feelings.
Oh, massively.
If you're going to take advantage of them that way. Because that's what you're actually doing. You're actually
of course. Of course. But I'm just saying, like, as a marketing, like somebody with a master's in marketing, that was just, it was a way of still being in the box, but shaping it to your own.
Yeah.
And having the personality that, like, made everyone swoon.
Yeah, because not everybody can pull this off, right? You know, I mean, you have to have a great personality. You have to look good. You have to have, I mean, there are things that make it set it up so that you can actually pull something like this off,
right? And then to stay in character constantly.
Well, I mean, if you've grown up in that sort of field, I mean,
I don't know if they did, but it was just one of those things where I'm like, am I watching this? Is this real life? Is this literally playing on and I'm the only one that's connected the clues? I feel like I've discovered that Dexter was the murderer and nobody believed me.
Yeah.
Well, it was like everybody else in the 90s trying to tell you about Diddy and nobody cared.
Well, Well, guess what, y'all? They got receipts now for that one.
Right? But it's just like, I'm like,
Do you think that that would work now?
no. I mean, well, to be honest with you, there are a few shitty people who are in the community who are pulling off scams, and they are con artists, horrible catfishers. But they are literally scamming people in the community. As far as the level, like the exact marketing model that this person used, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I've never seen anybody with that capability of acting that good.
Yeah, because I mean it's
It's a persona
well,
that you literally have to take on.
either that or you're just a sociopath, right? Like
I mean, it could be either or.
you just don't
I'm
care.
not a licensed psychiatrist.
Yeah, I know.
So
I don't
can't.
know. I mean, it's just one of
But
those
I'm
things
just
where if I'm
saying,
looking at it from my standpoint, I mean, there just has to be nothing there for
I'm
you to
just
actually
like,
do
how
that
am I the only one that's figured this? Like, how are me and my best friend the only ones that figured this out?
because people want to be again,
They want to be the heroes. I
they
feel
want to be
like somewhat
they want to come in
lately.
and save somebody. They want to come in and save somebody who's popular because in the community this person
They wanted clout.
was very popular and clout, right? So if you get close to them, hey, it makes you feel good, right? That you're in this circle and that you're helping somebody
Hey,
like
they
that out.
actually liked what I brought them. They posted on
And they're
media
really good
about
about
it.
saying thank you and all that stuff and it's great, right? But yeah.
Oh,
Man,
you know who it is.
I know who it is. I know who it is.
But it's just like, that's why I'm literally just calling it the marketing genius, because to this day, that specific thing, I've never seen anyone else pull it off because the costumes were fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, I
They
mean,
were.
you see
They were
people
highly detailed. They were so good. And what makes this even like icing on the cake is they were involved in a group cosplay that was competing for a contest. And when it was decided amongst the group that this person wasn't going to be in the costume because they didn't fit the size or the shape or whatever that the character they were building, they legit did nothing. And it wasn't because they were upset and pouty about it, it's because of the fact that they didn't know how to
oh,
do
well,
how to do the
they
basic
couldn't actually do it.
No, they couldn't. So,
Fake it till you make it, right?
well, I guess that's what it was. But that was the last time I think that they were ever
Yeah, because dude,
in a contest.
their cosplays were really good.
Oh my
Their
god.
makeup was really,
Oh,
really
spot
good.
on. So you're
Like
thinking, bam,
the whole thing's
like it's one of these
fantastic.
Russian cosplayers that's coming out. You know what I mean? You're like, what? Like knew all this shit like every week. You're like, what the hell? It's so good. It was that level.
Yeah, but I think at some point there you realize that there's not a lot of money to be made here in the cosplay community, or you.
Not really. Like I don't know why
It's very rare.
everyone's fighting over $20 because essentially that's what it is. Like it costs more to build something than you'll ever get out of it. Which is like why everyone's like, why is everyone doing lewds? Warble is fucking expensive. All of my costumes now, like if I made them 8 years ago, to remake them now have quadrupled in pricing.
Right.
Quadrupled. Like my fabric per yard, we'll say it was normally cost me like $8 to $10 a yard. I just went and picked up the identical fabric from the identical place. It's now up to $28 a yard.
Wow. Do you think it's because of demand
Not necessarily. I think it goes
or
back
just the
to
cost of
we got
goods?
cost of like goods,
Mm.
inflation, everything else. And so it's just one of those things where, now to make a $500 cosplay is just not gonna be realistic. Like mine to make it where it is with my time is literally thousands.
Yeah.
Just for the simplest of stuff.
So think about that, right? Like if you're putting that much into something,
And you're getting like
your return
what?
on investment isn't.
And it's nothing. So
If
if
you're in
you
it for the business,
no,
it's not.
it's not there.
It's not there.
You know what I
If you're
mean?
in it just
Like
for the
there's
hobby,
people that buy like $25 Zentai cheap suits on Amazon, literally have no idea the character they're wearing, does a quick TikTok bunk ass dance and it'll literally get 400,000 views
right?
versus somebody like Kimpatsu or Kamui
Yeah.
or
Well, I mean, the average person isn't going to know the difference. They
and you
don't.
can post like you building it and making it stuff BTS and nobody gives a fuck
Yeah.
anymore.
And I think that in another podcast that we make, we should talk about that, how
The
a lot of
shift.
folks, a lot of the shift and how a lot of
Right.
people do lewds.
We should do it, and I should, like, put some of my armor pieces on a mannequin and, like, actually show the
Oh,
difference. Like,
absolutely.
here's the armor, and then here's, like buy, like, a cheap suit on Amazon and
Yeah,
be like,
here's
"Here's
what
a
this looks
Sentai
like.
suit."
So people know,
So, like, these are the 2 differences. Like, this is what you're looking at. This is why it's completely different than the other one.
right?
Because most time people don't see cosplays until they're actually in person. So,
Right.
like, if you see stuff online, you're gonna think it's all more awesome than what it is in
Yeah, or even if you
person.
see it on TikTok or whatever,
Yeah.
you're still, it's it's not seeing it in person
No,
in real
it's
life.
it's not seeing all that stuff. So,
Man, dude,
yeah,
I'm
but
still like, guys, it's brilliant. It's evilly brilliant.
it's
Like
evilly brilliant.
evilly
Like, I
brilliant.
just don't. I'm
But
just dumbfounded.
do you think that that person at some point knew that they were going to get found out and stopped and just
No.
moved on to something else?
No,
No?
I think that person literally just milked that side of the field for as long as they could and then went on to something else, which we know they
Oh, okay.
did.
So they were just like, "Pfft, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm done with this. This is over.
I've
And
already taken what I wanted from this. I'm on to the next thing.
I got what I needed.
Yeah, which is what normally the scammers are doing in this community.
Oh yeah.
So
So
if you're like somebody's been in it for the longevity, you're like, why are you still in it?
yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like shocked.
So
It's like this is not like a 2-3 year turnaround
what they do
time.
is they get their connection,
Yep,
or
they
they
get their
get
connections. They've sustained. They've reached.
partnerships of
Yep,
some sort,
yep, and then they
and
bounce.
then they move on to the next thing.
Yep.
Wow.
Took basically took from the people they wanted to take, got the things they wanted that they wanted, whatever it is, and then they just
Well, I mean, and the crazy part, I think that also the brilliant part is that you escaped. You escaped with the
without.
loot, right?
Yeah,
Like
you literally
you
like
completed the
it's
heist.
like the ultimate pirate.
Yeah, you're the
Like you
pirate.
literally just escaped with everything, and you don't have to deal with the repercussions
Yeah.
of it. They just got away scot free.
Damn. Escape from Alcatraz. There it
Dude,
is.
I mean, if they could sleep at night, that's on them, but there's no way I could go into something that saved me so many times growing up, being bullied for it, being ridiculed for it, taking the hits for it, and then turn around and try to scam the people that love the same fandoms I
And that
do.
support you.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
I can't. I can't fathom that. Like, there's plenty of times where, people, like, if I'm at a booth, if I'm dressed up, they'll be like, "Oh, I can't buy anything." And I'm like, "I don't care. Come by and say hi." Like, that's what it matters to me is the people that come through because I love the character. The people that come through, it's an experience for me. Did I get into this thinking that I was going to make millions? No, I'm not a scammer. I could,
Even
but
as
I
a scammer,
don't.
you're not going to make millions.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have that unrealistic expectation. Like, I knew it's a hobby, you know what I mean? It's why I still work full time or, I'm not a nepo baby. I'm not a trust fund baby. I don't have sugar daddies. I work for this shit. I save scraps. I build things like, if you joke about me being a hoarder, yeah, I'm a fabric hoarder. I'm a craft hoarder, but to find the same quality of something that I got 8 years ago now is not going to be there, and it's not going to be at the price that I bought it for. So, damn right, I'm saving every warbless scrap. So it's just I
It's
couldn't.
because you're too empathic.
I just couldn't do
You
that.
care. You care a lot.
It's like shitting on the thing that saved you as a kid, repeatedly.
I mean, I would think that if that dude was in like business,
That person,
yeah, that person was rolling through, man, that would be in the business world, they
yeah,
would be
right. They're just
they would crush it or something,
they
right?
would. I feel like. I feel like it's one of those that are like that would be like a fantastic car salesman. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or like a
Or somebody
sales,
who's like, "Hey, I need you to invest in this company."
right? And it's
And
like a
and
scam.
they don't have a
It's like a
product.
pyramid scheme.
Pyramid
Like
scheme, yeah.
pyramid
Something like
scheme.
that.
Scream. It's pyramid scheme.
Yeah. Wild. Oh my
Right?
gosh.
Dude.
That's crazy, dude.
Dude. It's weird. Have some tea. Have some fucking tea.
Okay,
Take a
I'll
drink
drink
before we get on to the
on
next
that
one.
one. I had to. Hey, let's toast to that.
Woo!
That was
Mhm.
man. I don't know. You got a lot of stuff in that book.
I mean, it is fat and thick.
That one doesn't sit well.
Right? What, that story?
Yeah, that one's. I can see both sides of it.
I mean, I do too. I definitely
Yeah.
see, but it doesn't set on my moral compass.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't go to sleep at night. The next one.
As you die here.
As I die on this hill. So there's also racist in the community.
Whoa, let's pull that card. Holy shit. Okay. Well, no, I mean, look, I've seen in my time, I've seen, especially amongst, a lot of the African American cosplayers, like they get a lot of hate. They get a lot of hate for cosplays that they play.
Oh yeah, but I mean they're so good.
But they're incredible. But then people are like, oh no, well, you're not the wrong color for this. But it's cosplay. Nobody who gives a shit, dude. You're appreciating and you're building something that you really, really love from a fandom that you love. So who cares? But it's there and it exists.
But I was put into a situation where
she's like, that's nice, but here,
the plot
let's just go right to the book, y'all.
It's not what you think it is.
Okay.
It's not what you think it is. It's not someone proclaiming I'm racist, because that's never the case. It's never been the case. It'll never be the case.
So somebody being racist
or somebody being racist towards me.
Ooh, okay.
And you're thinking, how the fuck it exists? I didn't know, but it exists. So there's a popular cosplayer who was popular, could be popular. I don't know. Well, we'll just leave it at that.
They were popular once.
Literally, we had lunch one time. And, we were sort of friends and stuff. We were discussing things like, how to
make stuff.
Yeah. Right? I had a couple companies, and it was just one of those things where I was trying to I was basically going to give them the in and how they could get their costume supplies cheaper, wholesale thing. Yeah. So shoes, that sort of thing. And it got into a conversation where we were talking about anime. Mm-hmm. And this was a big thing with Ghost in the Shell just came out.
Oh, cool.
The live action movie with Scarlett Johansson. And we were talking about this, and we were discussing the culture, and I was explaining my love for the culture and everything. And this person was also Asian. And so we were, discussing it, and I explained my viewpoints and how much I loved it and appreciated it. I'm so glad it was more mainstream and more people could understand the message, get to experience, the anime, read the manga firsthand, dive into the culture. And I had expressed some of the anime that I had watched and loved and manga that I had read and characters that I wanted to portray because I was excited about bringing them to life.
Right. As you should.
Their response was not what I was expecting. I would expect somebody to be excited about that. We're expressing love for the same thing. I thought that it would be received and reciprocated. It was not. I got told to basically, I am not allowed to cosplay anime figures because there's already too much whitewashing of animes, and they thought I was contributing to the problem instead of being a solution, which would have been solution would be supporting Asian people cosplaying Asian cosplays only.
What? Holy shit, dude.
So
I'm sure that took you by surprise. You're
I was like,
what? How do I respond to that?
Wait, what? Normally, everyone is attacking the white person for being racist. I've never been lumped into a thing where I've been told I can't cosplay something because people I don't know have never met in my life were supposedly whitewashing it.
That's wild.
What?
That is wild.
What the fuck? I was just saying that I loved the specific things, and we were, the conversation was smooth. It was great. And I'm like, wait, what? I literally just bought you lunch. An expensive lunch.
I bought you lunch.
And
you come at me like this.
And then you started getting mad at me because Scarlett Johansson was cast as the lead in Ghost in the Shell. I have no say in who gets casted for that. Mm-mm. I don't know the casting agency. I don't know anyone in Hollywood. Why are you blaming me? I'm native and Celtic. Like I get that there's half white, but I'm not full hailing from the mountains of Caucasus over here. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like, wait, what? Are you are I'm still dumbfounded about it. So everyone's like, why don't you cosplay more anime characters? And I'm like, well,
I
it's
mean,
not that I don't want to. It's this person still has control and influence within the community and has networked like insane amounts that
yeah, I mean, I this is one of those things that always comes up, right? Where it's cultural appropriation.
well, no, because I always do canon and replica.
Right, but here's my thing with it, right? Mangas, anime, they're for everybody, right? They're not just for, you know, people of a specific race or culture. I mean, that's not a thing. It's huge and people appreciate it, and cosplay is for everyone. So you should feel free to cosplay because you're basically paying homage to these characters
Right?
from these studios that create these amazing things. Why would you want to gatekeep and hold people say no, 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 you can't, you can't? Well, then all of those characters that you just played that are Caucasian, you're not allowed to play those. Then I mean, and then it
And
gets
they
into a,
have.
I know, and then it gets into this like dumb back and forth over
I'm like,
nothing.
so since you cosplayed as a white person and you're Asian, that's acceptable. But if I cosplay a character from an anime who's drawn like my, my face shape, like similar,
Right.
I'm not allowed to because I'm whitewashing.
I mean, that's everybody has their own point of view, right? But I
And
just don't
and,
think
and
that
and I
that's
get that, and I'm not saying like, and I'm not someone's point of view. I'm just saying there's a better way that the emotions could have been expressed.
absolutely.
But accusing me and getting mad at me because Scarlett Johansson was the lead casted in Ghost in the Shell is kind of ridiculous.
It's like that. I've
It's
got
it's
no
kind of
control over that.
kind of ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my daddy doesn't own the agency that picked her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anyone. So, and I've been to like Hollywood like 4 times because I do not care about going there. So it's like, what the fuck? But literally came at me. So like when I had asked to collab several times, after this, I got told no because I wasn't Asian.
What? Okay.
That they didn't want to collab with me because I wasn't Asian. And they felt that collabing with me was just whitewashing them.
Are they do they do a lot of collabs or do they not do a
They
lot of collabs?
do.
They do.
Mhm.
Only with Asian cosplayers?
Yep.
Oh, maybe they just went that way.
I don't know.
That's oh man, that's one of those touchy subjects that it's just like again,
And I
it
get it, but it's one of those things where, if anything, I'm super respectful about everything and anything. Like if I'm going to a country, if I'm going to specific areas, I will research ahead of time to do the do's, the don'ts,
absolutely.
what's offensive. I take time, I study, I learn. I learned Italian before going to Italy. Like I bust my ass to make sure I'm not offensive in any way.
Right.
And I'm always make sure I'm over hypersensitive and making sure that I don't make anyone feel uncomfortable. So the fact that this was tossed at me
Yeah, just out of nowhere. I think it was
out of
surprising.
nowhere, and it was like, "This is the type of person you wanna be?"
I guess they made their stand, right?
Well, I'm like, but as that person, if and, taking in that culture, you could do so much beneficial for awareness, for promoting, for pushing, for voicing things, and that's the voice they went with on somebody who is the least disrespectful person in the whole community. I'm like, "Whoa."
I mean, my personal opinion is that cosplay should be for everybody.
I
So
think so
if
too.
you vibe with something in a character and you want to make it, Do it.
I don't think it matters your gender, your pronouns, your
Doesn't matter.
color, your religion, your race. I don't think none of this matters.
It doesn't.
It's cosplay. It's short for costume play,
It's
which
being who you
means
wanna be.
anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it.
Anyone should be able to do it and not get
Right.
railed for doing it, right? So
Not get yelled about a lead being cast for something. Like, what the
oh,
fuck?
dude. That
I have
that's
no say over that. I
that's
don't
sad,
even know
dude.
Scarlett Johansson or anyone who's attached to her.
Mm.
And I mean, it was just like, and I want to say it wasn't just a statement. I mean, it was a full on coming at me, bro, for 25 minutes.
Mm. Man. And then after that, you guys were done.
No,
There
yeah,
was
she never spoke.
there was no more.
Nope.
Do you see her? And if you do see her, are you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
cordial?
I mean, I'm always cordial. I'm like, if that's your belief, like, I don't like the way you handled it towards me. I feel like it was super disrespectful. Um, but it's like, I'm super cordial. It's not one of those things where I'm going to be a cunt about it,
Right.
but it's just like, I'm like, you could be better as a human
Mhm.
being. So we're all just fucking walking blood bags dying.
I think
So
I think in
be
the community when
nice.
people get to a certain level of status or whatever you want to call it, they feel like they could, they a lot of them don't understand the responsibility that comes along with
Well,
that.
this one also thinks that they're very hoity toity.
Mm.
So there's a level of pompousness that they openly admit to it, but it's just a level of arrogancy that I'm just like, you put on pants the same way I do. Which who puts on pants the same way my mom does, who goes and works in a fucking factory. So like, we're all dying. You're nobody special. Like, I'm sorry to tell that to you.
Do you think they do that to gain more followers? Do you think they take that approach to gain a specific
I mean,
segment of
it could
followers?
be a marketing approach to it.
I
It
mean,
could
I'm
be.
thinking
It could
maybe,
be. It
right?
also could be too that, it's done that way specifically. So it's more appealing to Asian markets, to
Mhm.
Asian companies, to Asian promotions. So,
Yeah, especially if you're going, if you travel to places that
right.
are predominantly Asian, maybe that's the thing, and maybe that's how you market yourself.
It could
It's
be.
possible. I mean,
And I mean, I mean, again, if that's your marketing strategy, it's your marketing strategy. But I just don't think that again, similar to the first story with Marketing Genius, I don't think your marketing strategy should be where you openly attack people. Um,
mhm.
I don't think you should scam people for money by lying about something that you're not. And I don't think that you should attack people, especially people who are genuine friends, who have a genuine love for the fandoms that you do, that you would openly attack them when they express their love
Yeah,
with
and I
things.
and I think that could be a thing too. Is that people that you think of as friends don't think of you as a friend,
Oh, that's 100%. That's why I don't have any friends in the community.
right? Because you're like, this is my friend, and they're like, yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
this is just Ireland.
This is just Ireland, and
Whatever. She just
this,
does a few
she
things.
does some things for me, and we get along.
She's a concubine.
She's oh yeah, she's a concubine.
Back to that
Back
story
to the
again.
back to the concubine story.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where it just really, I think, just like knocked me back on my heels. Not that everyone's like, well, your whiteness got you. No, 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 no. It's like you just
Had you ever experienced anything like that before?
no, because like I said, my mother's Native American. So like and my father's Celtic. Like I've seen a lot of it like on my father's side, like
Mm,
where people could associate like the the white bullshit. But like on my mother's side, it was always very humbling. Like and never got anything. I mean, I had people were always like racist to her because, she has darker skin tone and that sort of thing. So she's always treated like an outcast, but it was never one of those things where, I was always with her dominantly. So I never experienced that at all. And so, I mean, I know the things about privilege and shit. I'm not stupid, but it was just very humbling coming from a mixed, parental background that it really just gave a open I viewed everything with an opened eyes, open mindset.
mm.
Like, do I think things at that time growing up were right? No, I don't. I still don't think everything's right. But it's just there's a way that you can create a positive ripple, and that's by, showing love to those people that are genuine and care for you and that love and respect the things that you're into. So when I viewed this person as a friend, it was like, hey, I understand we're different. We're two different backgrounds, two different ethnic upbringings, but I love to get to know more about this one,
Mm.
yours specifically. Like, these are the things that I love. These are the things you know what I mean? Like, genuine
Yeah, and I
bonding.
think that's the challenge, right? A lot
Because
of
most people are like, nope, this is my narrow mindset. What this is right
or
is
this is
this
my
is it.
wall,
Yeah.
and
And
this is it,
I've never been like that.
right?
Like, I'm one of those people where I want to dive into different cultures and learn as much
But
as possible.
a lot of people in this community have walls, big
Oh,
ones,
all of them.
big ones,
All of them. And
and
so,
you don't really. It takes forever to get to know them, even as
and yeah.
yeah.
And then most of the time they don't want to know you.
I
And
know
so it's just one of those things where I'm like,
it's very cutthroat like that.
yeah. Oh, it's so cutthroat. And it's just like you are literally fighting over $20.
Yeah, I mean, I there was I got called out a couple times. People were asking me why I shoot so many white women, and and on my page, and I'm like, dude, I shoot whoever. Like, I shoot whoever wants to come and ask me to shoot.
Hmm.
I don't think about color. I don't think about race. I don't think about anything like that. It's the cosplay. How great is the cosplay?
How good are they in the character
How
of
good are
it?
they in the character and stuff like
Yep.
that? So it's not a thing, and it's just wild for that to be brought up. I've never thought of it like that
Mm-mm.
ever, but there are people that do.
We just see things as like art and stuff. And like, I just see things as like love for different fandoms. Like, I never specifically go, so Legend of Zelda, what is Link's ethnicity? Like, I never dive into that. I just literally just, unless it's the focal point of the story, like God of War with Kratos, going back for with that lore, I don't think about it. I just think about how well the
Think about the
game is
gameplay.
made and playing the game
Hmm.
and, how everything is with that. And so, like, to have someone you call your friend, like, literally just whom you just bought lunch for and like did all this stuff for, literally just like start attacking you for something you have no physical control of. Like there's nothing, and it wasn't a vent session,
No,
but there's literally nobody in my phone that I know that could know or that is related to or potentially could fix the casting of this movie. So I don't know why you're taking it out on me specifically.
because you're there.
And then literally, like, just went on this full tangent about how I'm not supposed to do this and I shouldn't do this and do that. I'm like,
Yeah,
and I was like, when have I ever been disrespectful?
never.
And they were like, it doesn't matter. You're going to do it.
So I think that's
Are
something
you
for
psychic? Do you know what I'm going to do?
I think that's something for our community is just remember cosplays for everyone. If you feel it, if you feel it character resonates with you, cosplay it.
Yeah.
If you want to shoot somebody that has an amazing cosplay, shoot it,
Photo shoot
right?
it. Photo shoot
Photo shoot it.
it.
It's that, right? There should be no
Animosity.
race and color do not play a part and should not play a part.
Cosplay. They should not play a part. And I'm like, and you just shouldn't do that. Like you have a chance to be better. You have a chance on a platform to be positive influence, to you know,
I think
you know?
I think that's the big part too, is that I don't think that there's a connection that's made between, when you get to a certain point where you have a lot of influence and you have a lot of people that follow you, that there is that responsibility that you as that person have to be able to say, hey, do this. It's for everyone. Here's how I can support you this way.
Here's how we can change it.
Here's how we can change it.
Look how everybody came together in the Sonic fandom and changed the whole, like, got the studio to listen to him on the different changes of Sonic. Like, you make a bigger ripple as a group than you do as an individual.
Yep.
So I feel like, be a thread of positivity, highlight the things of which you're excited to see. Hey, at the time it could have been like, hey, I'm excited that this anime is getting a movie. I really think it should have been casted differently, but this is why. I'm excited to see it in theaters. I'm
Yep.
excited that this story is getting to see light and is going mainstream. But I really think that it needs to be done with this lead or these leads
Right.
instead, because this is why.
Yeah.
It's keeping to tradition, or it's keeping to
or
the
even just
story.
something so simple as like, hey, this person's just started in cosplay and their cosplay is amazing. I'm going to share it on my page.
Right?
It doesn't take a lot to do that, right? I'm gonna put it out there for them.
It's free.
It's totally free.
It's free. It's free to be kind.
Exactly. It doesn't cost anything. And so that's where the disconnect is, because, so many people that have that kind of influence in this community specifically, it's so very cutthroat. It's, what do I get out of it?
Yeah. Oh,
What do I
that's
get out
with
of it?
everyone.
Instead of, how do I help the rest of the community?
Dude, that is everyone.
continue
I
to
feel
rise
like
up?
anyone that started cosplay like a decade ago has fallen out because they've seen how much negativity's just kind of infiltrated it. And everyone new who's coming up or new to the scene or new to doing guesting and all this other stuff, they're like, what's in it for me? What can I take from you? Thank you. I'm done now.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you, please. Goodbye. And I'm like,
Yeah, what just happened?
what the where are my people? What the fuck just happened? Literally.
I
It
see
was
it.
like a grab and dash on Rodeo
A
Drive.
grab and dash.
You know what I mean? They're just grab what? Hi, what the fuck?
Mhm.
So yeah, there's no I just can't get down with it.
So what do you do? I mean, I think
Dude, this is like a whole thing. So like for me, it's so hard for me to do an anime costume now. It's so hard because I still think about it in the back of my mind,
Mhm.
because even though I know that that person was in the wrong on how they presented it towards me and took it out on me directly, like I could influence anything, I feel like I just don't want to upset anyone else. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Like, I don't want to like upset anyone else because that's never my intention. So I'm like, is this person just a fucking cunt? Or is it like, is there a lot of validation? She just worded it shittily and now I don't want to like touch it.
You're spinning yourself
I
in circles for no
know.
reason.
I know, but I just don't. That's how bad I don't want to be. Like,
Stop.
I don't want to be disrespectful
Stop.
or rude.
Do it.
Do the thing.
There's some awesome anime
I
that you
know,
could do.
right?
Awesome anime. So don't stop yourself from doing that just
I mean,
because somebody said that.
We discussed this and stuff, but it was just one of those things where it was just like, I'm like, my mother's native, right?
Yeah.
Like, indigenous. Like,
I mean, I just don't think people care. I don't think people care. They just see
you can't.
they just see that
You can't.
this, and they judge.
Well, they always judge. What, because I got blue eyes? It's not my fault my mom went and found the most Celtic, gingery-haired person in school and was like, I'm going to procreate with this one.
Because you look different.
I don't know. Maybe that's why.
Right. So again, this is another one of those.
We don't choose our parents.
Same thing with the with the concubine story. It's,
Right?
You look different.
I'm like, we don't have, like, I didn't get a choice. I didn't be like, yeah, I'm gonna have my parents be this one, and I want to be like this ethnic group mix. Like, nobody has this choice. We're all just happenstance here. Well, majority of us like me are oops. So
I'm an oops baby.
oops. So it's just like, I just don't know. But yeah, so that was shell shocking.
What else like that have you not like that, but have you experienced other or seen other racist sort of things happen?
Dude, if I see that shit, I literally, no, not on my watch. It is not fair. It's absolutely not fair. Because like, I don't want to talk about it, but like, so I went to a very small rural school, right? Super rural, out in the middle of nowhere. They were so racist in that community that they made people of any other different color than white live outside city limits. Does this tell you anything?
Yeah.
Like, it was that redneck. And I'm like, even as a child, even at 8, I'm like, this is freaking wrong. What the hell? Like, why? And I've always had that mindset. Always had that mindset. Always.
Good.
And it's just like, the different viewpoints. And I'm just like, everyone is going in the same cemetery. Literally. That's because I had so much death when I was a kid. It wasn't like I was morbid, but like, I mean, pretty much family's cursed itself. So they pretty much all dropped dead for different various reasons. And it was just like, everyone's going in the same cemetery in town, right? Like, all these family, everyone's going in the same dirt. And like, my grandma looked at me and she was like, what? I'm like, everyone is going in the same dirt. Why are people lashing out? And she was like, "Oh, you get it now." And I'm like, "What am I supposed to get? Like, why is this happening?" And it was just one of those things where it was just like, I always knew that it was wrong. Like, you don't have a right to do that. Yeah, at all.
Yeah.
Like, I have family members now that are like, they're like, "My heritage, my right." I'm like, "You can fuck right off. You can go fuck yourself. Because if you're gonna think that way, you get the fuck away from me. Because I will not tolerate it."
Yeah.
I literally tell them, "You're dumbass.
Good.
Grow the fuck up
We need more of that.
and get the hell off the property."
Get off my land.
I mean, I did to my aunt.
Get off my land, y'all.
I mean, it wasn't like that, but like, no, dude, like, just,
Yeah, it's
I mean, intermediate family at this, and I'm just like,
it's a touchy one, man.
fuck is wrong with
It is
you?
a touchy one.
It's still not right.
Yeah, I mean, I've been.
I was gonna say, look at you.
I've had a bunch of shit. Like
you can't go anywhere in the Midwest, and people be looking at you like.
No, I mean, I had a kid in high school. He was my friend, and he's like, "Hey, can I interview you?" I'm like, "For what?" "I need to interview immigrants." I'm like, "You're an immigrant, right? You came from Mexico." I'm like, "Fuck no, I didn't. I was born here, dude. Like, what makes you think? Oh, just because of the color of my skin that I'm an actual immigrant?" I've had people, when I remember this when I was in line at a store with my sisters, and my mom went to go out of line to go get something and came back in line to get it. And this lady in the back was just like, "This is your kind always does this stuff. You need to go back to Mexico where you belong." And I mean, just shit like that you experience. And when you're at that end of experiencing, people that are racist towards you for nothing else but this color of your skin, it's pretty wild. And then on the other side of it, you get people who are like, I've had people who are like, "You talk too white." Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, you're masking.
You talk too white. You don't talk like us. I'm like, what is us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you wear nice, like a suit and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, what makes you think that people that are in other countries don't wear suits when they go to do business?
Right.
Like, why is this? Why is this a thing? Why is this now a thing? Right. So I got it from both sides. I got it from the sides of people that were from the color of my skin discriminating against me from that. And I got people who were saying that I was too white.
Dude, it's insane. And like,
I'm like, good God.
Well, like,
how do you, and it exists from both sides, right? There are people that are like that. Case in point, the person you just talked about. It's exactly like that.
Exactly, which is weird because like my best friend is Puerto Rican. So it's like, and I've seen it. I've seen the full out, like, people look at them like they're the help, like flat out say nasty. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it being at the gym and getting shoulder chucked. Like, I've seen this shit. And I'm like, game on, motherfucker. Like, ain't no way in hell. No.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it even happened in California. Like,
it can happen anywhere.
It happens all the time. But it's just one of those things where it's like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Pay your taxes. Be a good person. Be nice to
just
animals.
Be a good human.
And just enjoy the shit we can enjoy now before we can't.
Before we're in the dirt.
Well, or before it's taken from us. Like, just enjoy it now while you can.
Just
enjoy the constitutional rights while you can.
Enjoy the freedom.
Constitutional rights. But it's just one of those things where, man, those two were a doozy. Like, the first one, the marketing genius, I wouldn't really necessarily say. I mean, we're cordial, but it wasn't one of those things where I'd invite over for like Thanksgiving dinner.
Shit,
you know what I mean?
I'd worry about my shit disappearing.
Right?
You're like, where the fuck did that go?
But it's just.
Oh, you need money for a bus. You need money for a plane ticket, whatever, because something happened. Your wallet got stolen.
Right, something. But it was just one of those things where it's like, oh man, like that one just was like, you can't believe it's happening. But then somebody like you that you think is a friend, that like all that shit. It's just, it was a whirlwind. Like, I want to say like that happened within a year of each other, like those two situations. And I'm just like,
you're like, I think I just need to go run away and just go in a hole.
What kind of people are we putting on this pedestal in this community? Because I was like, good golly.
Well, I mean, people don't know. And that's the thing, people don't know. They just know what they see, what's been crafted for
Yeah, the
them,
persona, the
and they
facade.
only know people that they've, I meet them at the cons every so
Right,
often.
it's like very limited
It's very
interactions. It's
limited.
like you wait in line to say hi to someone, you might get 5 if you're minutes if you're lucky with some people, up to like 20 minutes. And then it's like you see them occasionally, maybe on a stream
Yeah, or
or
even at the con, you, like, say you go to dinner with them, or you're going to dinner with a
yeah,
group of 20 people,
or like
and
in passing or whatever, but it's like you never really get to know a person until
yes,
like
and that's the thing.
you travel with them, you're guesting with them, you
Yeah.
live in the same area, you try to do group shoots together,
Then
like
you start
you
understanding
then you
who they are.
start going like, these people are not like us.
You ever have anybody that it could be photographer or another cosplayer that you were cool with, but then as soon as you met them, like, in person, like, that you were like, "Okay, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna shoot with you," or
I
"I'm not
actually had that
gonna."
with the photographer.
Oh,
I actually had that with the photographer for once. So, like, this photographer was going to, like, every convention in SoCal, and their shots were decent, you know? I mean, it was they put together the lighting, like, it wasn't, like, botched. They made sure that your face was lit up, there was no shadows, because lighting can easily make or break you by, like,
yeah,
20, 25 years. And so they kinda knew what they were doing, if
right.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, they had good gear,
They
they
were
knew what they were
solid.
doing.
They were solid.
And, like, online, they were, like, super nice and supportive. "Hey, would love to shoot this, would love to shoot that, blah, blah, blah." I went to Anime Expo. Oh, this juicy Death Notebook's getting a third story. I went to Anime Expo. It was, like, my first one there, and I, like, dressed up as Pichu. And I was very excited, and I was just, kind of enamored by everything and everyone in costumes, and it was, like, my first I was a wee little babe. I was a wee little lass, and I was so excited to just be there. And, like, one person came up that had been following me, like, since for the social media, like, I'd, like, had maybe started a year and gave me this pony bead Pokeball that they had made, like, out of rave candy and stuff, like, I still have that thing, like, it was,
That's
like
cool.
it's, like, the first thing I ever got from, like, a me like, a, like, person that was following me, and it, like I have it on my desk, like, it means the world to me. So I, like, keep that shit because, if you're gonna take the time to do that, it means the world. Kind of sappy like that and shit. But, so I ran into this photographer and he was like, "Oh, can we get a couple quick shots?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I have my best friend there with me." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Oh, it's outside the convention over here." It's because the LA Convention Center and like it was like out on some like rooftop type thing. And so we go over there, and I remember Yaya was wearing like her Heartseeker
Mhm.
from Liam was wearing her ash and stuff. And so she's over there taking her photos with another photographer and doing an interview. And the photographer I was with, he goes, "Oh, it's Yaya Han." I said, "I know. Like her stuff's fantastic, as somebody who makes their own shit."
Absolutely. You appreciate
Oh my god, I've been
great
following her
quality.
forever, so it's like, I appreciate that she's in the middle of an interview, and he's like, "Let's go say hi," and I was like, "After the interview, like, don't be rude." And so he literally we're like walk up to him and he's like, "Hey, Yaya, can we get a quick photo?" And pushes me up to her in the middle of her photo shoot, like recording doing this interview thing at the same time. And I was like, "I'm so sorry." Is all I kept saying was like, "I'm mortified. I've never met you. You're like announced me." And I'm like, "I'm so sorry." And she's like, "It's fine." And I like just sat there and I was like, and she's like this. And like I walked off and I was like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And he's like, "Don't worry about it. She's totally okay with it." I'm like, "She is not okay with it." Like, do you know how rude that was?
That's not okay.
So I like explained how it was rude and like, whatever. You got a couple photos, and I'm like, "Dude, that's just not cool. That's not how
I don't
I,
work that
I
way,
don't
yeah.
do that. Like, I don't I don't stand by malicious, disrespectful behavior." Um, she was there, it was obviously like on her time, on someone else's time. Like, that was fucking rude, dude. And so literally I got some of the photos back and he was like, "Well," I was like, "Oh, do you mind if I like pay like a fee so I could like use the rights to make some prints, because I've never, just what everyone was
Sure.
doing." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna charge you this fee and then I want 10% of everything you sell." And I'm like,
No.
First of all, No, that's the whole point of me paying the fee for the rights to make the prints. Second of all, how are you supposed to know how many I make? And he goes, I want access to your Etsy store. It's at the time where you sell prints on Etsy. And he's
Yeah.
like, I want access to your store and I need to see how many you sold. And I was like,
Yeah, you can go fuck off.
no, no.
I'm sure he was used to getting it from people.
I mean, I always call him creepy and then his name anyway. But I'm just like, no. And to this day, it's taking like 10 years like to build a relationship with Yaya. And like, even like her partner Brian was like, "Thank you." I was like, "For what?" He randomly thanked me one day and I was like, "For what?" And he's like, "For being you." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "You are consistent." He's like, "Who you were 10 years ago is who you are today. You have not changed.
No, you're the same person.
Your character is the same." And he's like, "I can't say that for anyone else in the community." And I was like, I don't know if I should feel flattered
You're like,
or
is that
like worried about
is
everyone
that a
else.
compliment or what?
Yeah, but I've never once asked for anything. Like if I get something from Yaya, like they'll try to give it to. I'm like, I'm giving you money for it. You had to pay money for the mold. You had to pay to bring it here. Like I'm not taking it for free.
Yeah.
And to this day, I won't.
No. You
Like
want to support. You want to support their small
I'll
business,
buy
right?
Kamui's books. I'll buy Kapatsu's tutorials. Like you worked hard on this fucking shit. Like just because you're not building it now or
Just
doing it,
because
but you
I know
did
you
back
doesn't
then.
mean that I
Right, I'm not
get it
taking
for
advantage
free.
of you. Fuck that.
Exactly.
But yeah, that is uncalled for. Such a creepy photographer. Such a creepy photographer.
Man.
I think he's still doing it at conventions too.
Really?
Oh, good.
Oh, wow.
You can't miss him. But I'm just like he'll nod and pass and he'll be like, "Hey, Arlen." I'm like, "Hey." And then I'll say his name and then I'll be like, "Creepy." Then I'll say his name again on the side because I'm like, that literally, he's like a lurker in the bush.
So that was the one and only time you shot with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, there was a time that like in Rose City, I was outside shooting with like another photographer when I was there and I wore like my Captain America and he like sniped out of the bush for a few shots. And then he was like, "Oh, I'm just going to grab a few here too while you're here." And I'm like, "Okay." Like, cause you're put on the spot with everyone around. I'm like, okay. I don't want to be like, "Fuck you." And I was just like, "Great." And he's like, "Oh, if you want these, let me know." And I was like,
no.
Mm-mm.
You're like, thanks, but no thanks.
Appreciate it. No, thank you. Like, you got your photos. I'm good.
Man.
Right?
Yeah.
Weird.
Just
weird.
Yeah. I mean, you just, yeah. I had somebody like that I booked a shoot with.
I was going to ask you.
And they flaked on me the first time, didn't call, and just didn't show up.
What?
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you. And I have a it's
a 2-person
you get two chances, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to him like, what happened? Well, blah blah blah, excuse. Like, okay, cool. Well, here's the deal. I'll reschedule this with you. You didn't call me, you didn't do anything, you just didn't fucking show up. So I'll reschedule you for this day. If you don't show up, we're done. And she's like, "Oh, I promise I'm gonna show up. It's gonna be amazing." She didn't show up. And I was just like, well, we're done. We're done.
Right?
And
because you got to book time off.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes with it. But then she started reaching out to me. "Hey, I really want to shoot with you." I'm like, sorry, like you're done. Like
I think people assume that like photographers are at a beck and call, and they don't realize like how much work goes into it. Because I mean, I see people like, especially in SoCal, like I feel like they get abused and used. Like I know like Happy Trigger LA, who does fantastic work, has had issues with the same thing.
Yeah.
Like it is so notorious for people to book shoots and then take a photographer's time away that they could be,
doing something
making
else, shooting
other
with somebody
money,
else,
shooting other things, and then literally flakes on them. So they're like, half of my day is gone.
Yep.
That I'm just sitting here without pay because you're basically contracted.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here without pay because you wanted to flake, and you can't charge a deposit.
No,
you can't, because then you won't have, because nobody. And in Southern California, will do that.
No.
I mean,
it's not a thing. It's not a thing. So yeah, I mean, you want people that are going to honor their commitment, or if they're not going to make it, they call you ahead of time saying that they're not going to make it. But after that, we were done. And I was cordial. When they showed up and stuff, but I wouldn't shoot them because I'm just like, that's it.
You're like, you had your 2 chances.
You had 2 chances.
And you literally decided that I wasn't worth.
And I make it very clear. I'm like, this is it. two and done. Like you're done.
So there is no speculating.
No,
Yeah, no,
no,
you're
make it very clear.
pretty direct with
Yeah.
that. So
So
wow.
yeah, but unfortunately for them, they didn't get photos.
Snooze, you lose.
It happens. It happens.
Be a nice human. It's not that hard.
No, just call. Doesn't take a lot.
Dude, but like going back to the original story with the scam art, like the marketing genius, dude, I wonder how much money they actually made. I know they made a fuck ton at the shows that we were at together. But it's just like,
I would
like,
think all told.
it's more money than I've seen people selling prints. Like,
Yeah,
isn't that
like
crazy?
I would say, you know what? If I had to, let me just over 2 years, right? 2 years.
We'll say 2 years.
No, let's just say over 2 years.
Simplicity.
Right?
We'll go even 2 years.
I'd say probably maybe like 30 grand.
Oh, easy.
30.
Easy.
About. Like if you take into account like not just the cash, but like the other stuff that they got, probably about 30 G's, I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not crazy money.
It's not when you think about it, but I mean, like, but you don't know how much that they were getting online.
Oh yeah,
because that's
extra.
They were partnered with a streaming service. They were doing all this other stuff. So,
but I mean, obviously, it wasn't lucrative enough for them because they moved on.
I know. I just think that they just took what they wanted and moved on. Because I do know for a fact that the persona was getting tiring.
Yeah.
Of carrying that specific thing.
Oh, I'm sure. It weighs on you after a while.
Oh yeah.
And to keep it up, to keep it going all the time.
Because you got to keep that same thing on media.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Like you have to keep it going constantly.
Living the big lie. Woo-wee.
Dude, that's so much energy
That's too much energy. I couldn't do that shit.
Dude, I can't fucking do that shit. I'm blatantly honest. I couldn't imagine like sitting there snowballing this whole thing.
No.
This whole other realm and just keep it rolling.
No. Not at all.
I can't.
That's too much work.
I can't imagine.
That's too much work. No.
It's too much. It's so much work to keep personal and private life separate for me that I couldn't imagine having a whole other life.
Yeah.
And trying to maintain relationships with people, connections.
That's the thing, is that you built these relationships with people based on your persona.
Right.
Not on who you really actually are.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like, because I keep my personal and private life separate, like or the public and personal life separate. I mean, the public is a little bit of a persona because you don't really, like, you vet what people see.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
You
like, I vet what people see.
Yeah.
And I limit what information's available, but like that's for security and safety reasons, obviously.
But I think he probably at some point, huh?
They.
Oh yeah, they did. I mean, at some point they probably just realized, hey, I'm losing myself. Probably. Maybe, right? Because I would think, right? You're losing yourself.
I can't really say.
I mean, if your persona, if this becomes your everyday, like what happens with you? Like if you
I have the tism, so that's a different
if you're in
story.
that character for
so just for me, from maintaining professionalism and not letting it slip at all with like the words that I say and stuff, because you're at a convention, so obviously it's family. Family is you got to be careful with what you say. You got to have a filter. You can't say vulgar words. You can't tell bad jokes. Like you have to keep things very family friendly and PG.
Right.
Just a 2-day convention from the day before flying and the day after flying. It's 4 days. It's so fucking taxing. I can't. Like the day after I'm out. I think like San Diego took me a fucking week.
Yeah. Trying to recover from all that.
Nonsense. But it's just like.
So just imagine you live it like that. For that period of time.
Without having a break. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Fuck
right,
that.
right. I mean, eventually you go fucking crazy. So I think they were feeling probably that.
Could have been.
Also. I mean, assuming they're human, right? Who knows?
Could have been a cyborg. We don't know. We don't know. We don't.
We can only speculate.
Conspiracy theories. Part 1, part 2. No, just kidding.
Well, y'all, I think...
Yeah. There's 3 creepy stories.
That was pretty deep. We didn't plan on doing the other one, but I mean,
it was a bonus.
It was a bonus one.
Bonus tea.
I hope you guys liked this episode. It was pretty deep.
I know. And normally I like crack jokes and stuff.
No, but this one was, yeah.
I feel like we need a joke on here though.
Are you gonna tell one?
No, you're sure I tell a joke.
Do it.
Okay. So It's not PG though, is it?
I don't care. It's a joke.
You know me, seriousness. I gotta throw in some funny with it, right?
Do it.
What do Mustangs and tampons have in common?
I don't know.
Every pussy owns one. There are some exceptions with the 86 to 91 models of Mustang, the 5.0s, but we're not going to go there. We're just going to say generalities.
And on that note, have a good one, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
See you next time.